good time zone artifacts. And a happy birthday to all of those around the world. Let's us continue with episode 14. Shall we? I looked up after stream because I was curious if what people were, if anyone was talking about the skins for Blue Poison and Scotty, and what in the world the iteration point thing was. And not really anyone was talking about it, but I did learn that it's not the first time we've gotten a skin like that, actually. I forgot that the Texas skin, or Texas Altar that I use, also mentions the same lore thing going on. There's 3 skins in the series. Don't know what's up with that. I guess people just think it's like some weird alternate universe thing, which I guess is fair. Seems like it's like a kind of a fairy tale alternate universe, I guess. I don't know. Did I build anyone? No. Bam. I did not build anyone at all. Besides mastering Swire skill 2 to level 2. I don't know if I'll go for level 3. Level 3 doesn't really add much, to be honest. Number 2 was the like really good one because it gave you an extra coin, so that was nice. But yeah, this skin for Texas mentions iteration from decision point F3019226. I forgot. I also did look up Inez's skin, and honestly, the animations are really good. I am very tempted. I'm still not sold on like the dress thing going on, but the animations look really cool. I'm still thinking about that. And of course, we got the robot today. Did not realize it was a ritualist. That's interesting. Also, apparently it has to do with the banshees, which is also interesting. I guess it kind of, yeah, it's not, I mean, it's not, is it even a robot? Like, what even is this thing? I don't know. I have no idea. But it adds arts or elemental fragility, which is neat, and arts fragility, but the elemental one. So they're separating fragility now. There's going to be separate types, I guess. Potentially. But that's it. Also, I did look up or look through my base of like what the new characters offer me in terms of base skills, and I am sad to say that Logos is another trainer. which honestly I'm kind of surprised by. He trains casters and supporters. And the new Fang is at least at level 1 is a factory worker who's worse than original Fang at factory working. Not sure what she turns into at higher levels though. He's actually the same as Irene. Oh really? Fair enough. But I already have Irene, so like whatever. I guess if I maybe want to do a little quicker on casters, I guess that's okay. Still not exciting though. She's too old for factory work. Damn, that's kind of rude. Wonder what W does. I have no idea. Obviously did not get W from the free 1 pull. Well, let's continue, shall we? When we left off, Rhodes Island and Co. and friends and everyone tried to utilize Lifebone, the flying Farinmut, to attack Londinium from the air. Except we crashed because at the exact same time, Teresa's activated the shard, which triggered an Oranginium reaction and has started to assimilate the land around Londinium, and it disrupted the like magic and the arts in Lifebone, and we crashed. The land and everyone in it are turning into Oranginium. The ducal armies have been disrupted. Duke Caster is MIA. A Trilby Asher died. But Siege is going to lead the Exemplars, and some Rhodes Island members, including Closure, to the front lines of the battlefield against the Nexzahir army, while W and the Mercs stay to defend Lifebone, since we don't want to lose it, even though it's not working currently. And Amia and the rest of Rhodes Island are going to go try and stop the shard. And also, Teresa is leaving again. I don't know where she's going. And that's what happened last time. Hammer and anvil vanquished. Here we wage war on death. Well, we got the Sea Silver Ashes thing, so I guess we'll switch them out maybe. I don't know for who though. Or for what. Still need to see Thorn's abilities. Are these new guys like anything crazy? Not really. do I feel like bringing? What are we missing? I don't know. Guess he'll stay for now. Whatever. "13 hours into the operation. The further we go, the more dire the situation becomes. Freshly rent canyons, diverted rivers, pathways that withstood the weight of great nomadic cities now torn, distorted, warped beyond recognition. The maps of the past are now no more than scrap paper. Every trail must be charted anew. There is no doubt that the blood of Tikaz lies this way, though. Our bond yet hums." Right. I forgot kind of the most important part. Activating the shard is specifically summoning the curse of Omninam or something like that. Which has to do with the Tikaz. The closer we get to the heart of the battlefield, the higher the rate of Oranginium integrates with all information. The rocks, the soil, the waters, the peoples. Oranginium's influence has its clutches around virtually everything on Terra. Yet perhaps we have long forgotten the fundamental principles of how it works. What do you mean by information, Calcit? I have memory loss. Perhaps you shall find out rather soon, Doctor. Or maybe... No, never mind. Objectively speaking, this Oranginium-contaminated terrain does not give a tactical advantage to Teresis' military operations. In contrast, the Victorian front is all but shattered. But this level of Oranginium activity still pales in comparison to the catastrophe strikes earlier. Teresis will never use Oranginium so recklessly just to gain a slight tactical advantage. This much I know of him. He knows the consequences. Does he, though? Does he care, though? Sounds like we're in for a difficult journey. There's a vehicle heading this way. Halt. The truck shudders to a stop as several familiar faces hop off. Oh my gosh, it's them. Who would have thought these random side characters would come back? Master Banshee and the King of Sargaz. I told you we shouldn't have taken this road. We can't run away now. Why does she have a... Isn't that smiling face on her shoulder? Isn't that the same thing W uses? Is she a W mercenary? I don't remember it from last time. I feel like that's a new model. Well, it's not like we're the bad guys. You, weren't you supposed to stay at the lifeboat? I'll be honest here. Master Banshee, Your Highness, we were scared, terrified, having to stay inside that skeleton, not knowing who or what might be coming running over the hills to attack us, so we ran. I know that desertion is a crime, but we were never going to be of any use, were we? Okay, so yeah, if they were with us, I thought they were coming from the opposite direction. If they were with us, then that makes sense that she might have a W emblem. So I beseech you, my lord, your highness, please don't execute us. We'll happily take the whip instead, however many lashings you wish. I'm not going to execute you, and I never demanded that you fight for me. If you want to go, then you may go. Oh, thank you so much, your highness. You are wise and merciful. Can we three go along with you? Shush, say no more. Her highness has already done us an incredible kindness by sparing our lives, and you would still demand more of her? Don't be a fool, shopkeeper. How much of a chance do you think the three of us have that broken truck's got? We'd probably get blown up by a bomb or worse. Your highness, this is just my humble request. But please, get us off this battlefield. I'll give everything I have as long as these two live. I swear my undying fealty to you. No, that's not the issue here. If you were to follow us, I'm sorry to say that it would be just as dangerous. What do you think we should do, Doctor? We could commandeer their ride. Quite frankly, why didn't we take a car ourselves in the first place? Doctor, do you really want to do that? Oh no, he's judging me. I see. You're just trying to liven the mood. Yeah, it was a joke. Yeah. Yeah. You know me, the jokester. Very well then, driver. We can travel together for a while. After we pass through the war zone, you should leave Victoria once and for all. Well, thank you. However, my deepest gratitude, please let us use our transport. It should carry us far enough. Oh, King of Sarkaz, you are the most magnanimous soul, and I truly do not know how I could repay this kindness of yours. The coin. Yeah. The coin I gave you. I completely forgot about that. Good thing I didn't drop it here. For you, my lord. I was wrong to beg it of you. It was my honor to serve, Banshee Lord. How could I have expected payment for such a privilege? I think they're scared of you. I hope you don't think me a miser. I need to ensure that they are not imposters. You need not fear. I hold no malice against you. Logos moves his finger and the coin in his palm vanishes, only to reappear in the shopkeeper's hand in a heartbeat. The shopkeeper stares, at first at the hand capable of quaking the earth and shaking mountains with a single pen stroke, then at the coin in his own hand, and finally back at the deadpan Banshee, unsure of how to react. Was that a magic trick? How delightful! You are a man of many talents, sire. I better go help driver start the car. Tough crowd, huh? I saw Scout and Outcast demonstrate it several times, but I could never quite get the movements right. It was my lack of skill that made for a lackluster effort. Are you a bit of a jokester? He is a social drinker. Doctor, there are times when I also regret the fact that many of our shared memories have disappeared into the ether. We never did talk about the past much. If we ever find ourselves in time to reminisce after this ordeal, perhaps you will be pleasantly surprised by the anecdotes of your past. But for now, we must go. There's no sound here. This stillness is strange. I can't hear the sound of our breathing or the vehicle's engines. I can't even hear my own heartbeat. Is this some kind of Orangenium arts? Could someone have blocked all sounds in the vicinity to conceal themselves? No, Amir. Listen carefully. It is not that sound has forsaken this place. Instead, there is a great, tremendous roar, so great that it drowns out its lessers. It is a deafening cry of death itself. Look, over there. That leaf. A leaf hangs from the lowest branch, its surface tinted with vibrant yet bizarre colors like the work of a haphazard artist or sunlight reflecting off a puddle of grease. Like the vestiges of some sort of arts, like some kind of fungal infection. Probably arts. It is rotting. Decay unhinges its maw, gnawing at all in its sight, leaving behind only iridescent bite marks. Within a few seconds, the sprightly yet strange coloration spreads across the entire plant and even onto other bushes. The once succulent leaves become drips of foaming liquid, leaving behind only bare vein networks quivering in the wind. Just like a thin beast's skeleton after its flesh has been picked clean, unceremoniously discarded. The wind rises, as if wanting to tear at their skin. It is the sign of an unsatiated beast. Logos, the marsh. Silver incantations flow forth, plunging into the depths of the marsh. Did you manage to stop it? No. The muffled sound of water sloshing ripples from the marsh, echoing about in deathly silence. The sound of a foot pulling from the ooze, then stepping down again, steadily unseen steps churning the muddy water, slopping it into the shore. Prepare for battle. Stay where I can see you, Doctor. Black art shoots into the marsh, but the burst of sound quickly dies down as though swallowed up. The steps begin again, their rhythm unchanging, their resolve unending. A tattered hymn floats above the surface of the water as ripples clash into ripples, becoming a chaotic jumble of lines and shapes. Monster. Cautious growl. A dazzling beam of light spews forth from Monster's mouth, but the shining lance is lost amidst the dark swamp. I like how we're just shooting at nothing. Like there's something there, but we're also just kind of shooting blind. The slow sloshing changes. Oh snap, it's the guy who killed the Trilby Asher. A series of hurried footsteps erupt in the silence, and all lost sounds return once more. A brilliant cacophony, an ear-splitting din. Oh, sick. Cool sword you got there, dude. Yeah. Has come for you all. Stay back, you, whatever you are. Look out. Cage. A sudaram. A burial shroud still wrapped around a corpse. His body has already rotten away. Conventional attacks will have no effect. This is a form of witchcraft innate to the Naxa here, or possibly an ancient tradition. Noxahirs devour life to nourish their bodies, but all bodies have an end. Once at the cusp of that end, powerful Noxahirs will nourish weaker ones with their flesh, gaining unfathomable speed and strength in return, alongside witchcraft energy that no ordinary body could bear. In doing so, they become even more powerful creatures, while their nourishment allows a Noxahir society to sustain and grow, just as fallen leaves nourish the land, and the land supports new life. An eternal cycle. Blood. The muddy waters of the swamp rise swiftly like a curtain, immersing the Noxahir up to his torso. At the same time, incantation wind and weave their way around the group, holding back the rot's incessant bite.
Over there, quick. We'll head into the forest.
Don't step on the mud. With the swamp rising, or perhaps the mist sinking, the dark ground becomes a gaping mouth, trying to engulf all. The group struggles through the mire, each breath growing more labored. A singular thought seizes the collective mind. Living is a tedious and futile effort compared to the peaceful, eternal slumber that awaits if they simply turned around and embraced death. Monster, protect a doctor. Urgent growl.
He's here.
The only sound they can hear is the whistling of the corroded blade as it swings down. The Noxahir, the one who walks alongside death, has arrived before them. Piercing cry.
Monster. Did Monster also feel the pain?
All life withers before his arts. Okay, so Monster is alive. Okay. If we are caught in the Noxahir's witchcraft, our life force will be sapped to become its nourishment.
He's fast. Did he come from the mud or drop from a tree?
Either is possible. From life to death, from blossom to wither, they draw upon the eternal life cycle, turning it into seeds that produce new Noxahirs.
I can feel it. The unending flow of witchcraft energy flooding towards us. And not just from the enemy before us. From the marsh, amidst the trees. It's everywhere.
We have been wrapped in the Noxahir shroud. By his hand, death hangs above our very heads. Only by tearing apart this barrier of witchcraft can we defeat him. Miner, am I about to die?
He's tired, shopkeep. Here, hold on to me so we don't get separated. Driver, hold my hand. Whatever you do, don't fall. She's fading out of consciousness. I can't hold her up much longer.
Ordinary healing techniques won't help. Noxahir witchcraft is devouring us all.
Leave me. I'll only hold you back. You can let us go. I know if it wasn't for us, you and Sir Bantry could fight more easily. No. I promised that I would get you out of the battlefield. We're in this together. Is that so? Good.
The scent of blood, it pervades the air.
It's Driver and the other's wounds.
No, this blood is witchcraft.
Huh. As in a vampire. This forest is Noxahir and vampires.
A thin fog of blood floats all around them. This is entirely different from the Prince of Blood's arts they witnessed before. It is subtle, like the delicate strands of silk nearly smothered by all the encompassing mist and of decay around them. But it is these silken strands that slightly stir the stagnant air. Mia, feel the flow of wind. I will expose the weave of this shroud and locate its weakest point.
Got it.
Black arts gathered before Amia's body, condensing into a spear. Logos raises his hand, pointing at the depths of the thick fog. Pierce. Ah, Herald of Death. You resist the spread of rot, but to no avail. In the end, death will claim your corpse. I have never once doubted that. Disperse. Can anyone even fight Logos? I'm pretty sure the Sanguinarch beat him up in the last fight. But he is a king. He is the king of a Sarkas, or not the king of Sarkas. He's a royal court king of the Banshees. So, and I do like that he has power words. Like his whole shtick is he just has power words. That's fun. His giant blade falls, sticking into the soil like a gravestone. The Noxahir's shroud flutters and billows. In an instant, his imposing figure disintegrates, leaving behind only several tattered strips of cloth, gently falling to the ground. Is he dead? I can finally breathe. Clack, clack. It's the sound of bones scraping against bone. A withered hand stretches out of the mud. Watch out. It fell apart. Looks like it to me. Ugh. When'd you become such a badass, driver? Shouldn't we keep going, Your Highness?
Yes, it's best we leave at once, before the Noxahir reawakens and catches up to us again.
I'm surprised that wasn't the fight for us to play.
I wasn't expecting a vampiric art circle here.
It is still working.
Those vampiric arts that suddenly appeared as we were fighting the Sudaram. Was it because of this circle?
I'm afraid it's not that simple. I'm sure you're well aware, Amiya, that those arts were cast by a vampire.
Perhaps a descendant of a vampire. I assume that while the Sanguinarch has been taken off the battlefield, the gifts he bestowed will not so easily fade away. It doesn't matter. I'll do my best to put these corrupted lives to rest, as I've done before. Logos, could you please assist me?
Amiya. The sound becomes ever clearer. Coming from behind the blood-stained boulders, it's the sound of limbs dragging across the ground, a sound that they've heard countless times in previous battles. Amiya notices the expression on Logos' face. He looks not at the stone columns, but at Amiya, a trace of emotion flitting across his eyes. It is sorrow. Amiya recognizes it instantly. She has felt sorrow countless times since the war began, sometimes from an enemy, but mostly from her companions.
Driver.
Oh. They got her. The vampires. Your Highness.
When did it happen? Was it while we were fighting the Noxahir?
Yes. When we left the skeleton, I brought along a rock that the military commission had ordered us to transport. I thought since it made us stronger before, it might come in handy in battle. It really did help, right? I never dared to imagine I could fight alongside you and defeat that strange enemy. You used a blood crystal left behind by a vampire. Did you pierce your body with it? No, that wouldn't have induced such a drastic change. You swallowed some fragments. You willingly accepted Ducariel's blood and arts. I've always had the vampire bloodline, even though it's pretty faint now. But I could sense the Sanguinarch's call, even if it felt nothing more like a whisper. I've seen those worms crawl out of the Sarkaz's corpse before, so there's no need to pity me for not knowing the consequences. Hands dead, dying in the gutter, like a real worm without so much of a yelp. I rather accept this power and died on the battlefield, like a real Sarkaz. This isn't a spur-of-the-moment decision. A few months ago, while driving aimlessly through the wilderness, I heard a broadcast that was happening in Londinium. And somehow I drove all the way here. Shopkeep says I read too many stories about knights. That's rubbish. Everyone knows that Castle doesn't need knights. I just wanted to know there was a real path in life that I could follow, one with a proper end, or if I could give some meaning to my life without just wasting it. And then I met you. The path of the King of Sarkaz is the path for me. We fought alongside each other on this path. Like you said, we're in this together. And now the fighting stopped. At least for now. My buddies are still alive. Your Highness, you can deal with me as you see fit.
Deal with you? Oh, what are you talking about? Driver, why have you become like
Real scary, aren't I?
Your Highness, please, I beg of you, help her. And Lord Banshee, sire, I humbly return this coin to you. It is the only thing I have of worth.
Witchcraft is the trigger of her condition, not the cause. There is nothing Amia, and even Dr. Calcic could do to reverse the changes.
Then what are you gonna do? Don't tell me you're gonna kill her like you've killed those red worms.
Stand aside, shopkeep. This was my decision. Your Highness, I heard that in the past, the greatest warriors of the Sarkaz, right before they died, could request that the king grant them a vision. I don't know if I count or not. Amia raises her hand. Black arts coalesce at her fingertips. A desperate smile emerges on the driver's face as she unconsciously looks at the top of the countess's head, searching for the legendary black crown. My king, what will I see? Just hope that it won't be me driving that piece of junk around Castle.
Driver, can you tell me your name? Your real one.
Is this part of the ceremony too?
Well, if I knew your name, it would be a lot easier.
Marilla. A common name. Kajimirjan. Amia can speak Kajimirjan?
Marilla. Sorry, I never stayed in Kazimierz for long, so my pronunciation might be off.
Okay, she can kind of speak it. She did go there. I mean, just because you go somewhere doesn't mean you learn to speak the language.
No, it's good. It's been so long since anyone called my name so gently, ever since my mother died. Marilla, I refuse your request. You won't grant me a vision. I suppose I was never warrior to begin with. No, that's not it. I refuse to let you die here, by my hand, Marilla. You have not become the vampire's creation. Your looks have changed, but I don't sense you becoming any more evil or bloodthirsty. And even if you are showing a bit more of your ancient bloodline, you're still you. You do not deserve punishment, nor should I be the one to give you your honor.
But you're the king of Sarkaz.
Please, call me Amia. Miss Marilla. I've had my share of worries because your team isn't comprised of Rhode Island operators. I was thinking earlier about how we could get along with you three, but in truth, it wasn't a problem at all. If you wish to fight alongside us for our common goal, then I welcome you with open arms.
Look at that pure smile. The young countess keeps her arms outstretched, her blue eyes blinking. The Sarkaz woman grasps her slender fingers. Despite not feeling much sorrow, 2 rows of scarlet tears flowed down her cheeks. Look at Count's subtle but proud smile. Were you watching Amia? She's changed a lot these past few years. She's become more mature. The core of the vampire's ritual has changed. It is no longer just a tool to amplify the arts of the Sarkaz, nor a simple collector of energy. It is deepening the Sarkaz's bloodline's bond with Oranginium, with Annanam. The blood of the Tikaz is playing a role in this somehow. The strength of the Sarkaz bloodlines acts as a direct catalyst to the Oranginium spread. In turn, the information within Oranginium empowers the bloodlines, changing their powers and other traits. The effects of these arts seem familiar. Didn't Solus merge a lot of bloodlines, and Fessari is skilled at bringing out the power of the bloodlines? We must be ready. The threat of that Omnam represents may very well be far greater than anything we've expected.
Let's try to take up as little of our holiday time as possible.
I missed it. Looked away for 1 second. that's our altar. Okay.
I'm listening. I know what nothing can mask the scent of despair.
And tornado's just sitting there. I guess it's on the altar, huh? Also damaging that guy. Peculiar. Can we push it further?
I know what I will sink your corpse into shadow. No one will find it.
No.
No one can see me. Don't keep me waiting.
Probably use logos at some point too.
For them, the bell tolls.
Better watch your step. No one knows my name. Meet your death.
Bad luck. You ran into me.
No one knows my name.
Moving to designated location. Your lives are mine.
You can't hide your fear.
I'm prepared for the end of the firelight.
I know what nothing can mask the scent of despair.
Then, the curtain of destiny.
By bad luck, you ran into me.
Blow those guys up.
Waiting for your call.
Moving to designated location.
Could I have moved the tornado to the middle of the map to help beat everyone? Yes, I could have. But I didn't need to.
Don't. I will sink your corpse into shadow. No one will find it.
Mission accomplished.
23 hours into the operation.
The route ahead has been cleared.
I'll continue scouting the Sarkazar's movements. Haven't found any trace of them yet.
Thank you, Misery. Continue to set up those sentry posts. Morgan, found any surviving Victorian soldiers where you're at?
I'm afraid not. Nothing but orangenium crystals here. We haven't run into any Victorian troops, corpses, or wrecks since we entered the westbound forest. Damn it, we can't tell her there's been a bloody huge battle. So where's all the people gone?
The terrain here keeps changing. Maybe the ground ate them all up? We can't underestimate the tenacity of the people. It is only because there are those who refuse to give up that the exemplars even exist. That's why we're here in the first place. Shearer, keep the medics ready to receive any army remnants and civilians.
Do I remember Shearer's voice? No. We've got extra supplies, so no need to worry on that front. The bad news is that there are so many infected among our troops now, it's almost impossible to distinguish between infected and uninfected soldiers.
I'd like your professional opinion on that matter. Would registering the infected help our men or not?
Funny you should ask. Registering the infected. That might have been the first thing they taught me at the military academy. But where we stand now, I'd say there's no real sense to it.
I see. Then let's stop registering them. Just try your best to provide everyone, infected or not, with Rhode Island's recommended protective measures. The rest is not up to us anymore, at least not for now. Let's all focus on surviving this war first, then we can worry about the wars to come. Oh, my drone's back. How awful. The entire propulsion system has been clouded up by crystal dust. Based on the monitored data, environmental orangenium concentration is still fluctuating wildly. Send me some data you just got, Rock. We've got a new iteration of our orangenium activation trend model, and I want to see if our calculation fits real-world data. Yeah, looks like there's not enough data to do that. The trend is of this curve. Let's wait for Victor's team to finish off that diffractometer analysis report. Then we should be able to calculate the safe areas in real time. This place freaks me out. It's like 1 minute deadly quiet, the next there's some terrifying orangenium mountain pushing its way up out of the dirt. The safe areas keep changing. Although we've managed to reestablish short-range comms after working our asses off, if you go even a step out of range, all that interference will just get in the way again. Good thing I've planned ahead and asked Radian and her arts units before we left for Londinium. After a little copy and paste, I made a knockoff version. It's not as good as the real deal, but it should help. Once we've got these portable communication towers, we'll be able to transmit the locations of safe areas to everyone on the battlefield who needs them. This information will save many lives.
Well, yeah, that's what Rhode Island does.
Horn, status update. We've successfully arrived at the Gibson Ham. It's the last supply point before we reach the front of Silver Rock Bluffs. The reconnaissance team's already made their initial scouting report. Looks like there are traces of ducal armies here. Must have passed through on the way to the front a few days ago. I think we can confirm at this point that the route Chilby Ash provided is safe. Is there anyone in town? The streets are empty, but I can sense the flicker of shadows and the smell of food. We decided against contact to avoid unneeded misunderstandings. Understood. We'll rendezvous with you as soon as we can. It's getting dark. Seems like everything's going smoothly. Let's let our fighters get some rest and some hot suit in them.
Remember to save some for my team. They'll be taking a while longer to get back after this work is done. Rock and I still have to head over to Feist. Yeah, I'm not sure if we'll be able to double our communication range by nightfall, but we'll do our best to finish ASAP.
No need to worry. We'll save the best for your people.
It's all just the same canned provisions though, right?
Would you like some engine oil for dressing then?
Oi.
All units continue onwards until we reach Gibsonham. I hope things will be as peaceful tonight as things are now. All the houses seem empty. Have the residents gone into hiding? Gibsonham's not that far from the Duke's defense line, so I doubt the Sarkaz will ever fully captured it, not to mention the ducal armies just passed through a few days ago. One's caution is warranted, though. There might be some scattered ducal troops who want to reconvene with the main army and decide to camp out here first. Though Chilby Ash is helping us out and with his advice, Victoria's never exactly been a model for unity. Not to mention the complicated nature of the exemplars. I dare say there are a few old-fashioned military nobles who would rather not tolerate our very existence. I see. Then let's show them the full scale of our forces. It'll deter those with ulterior motives and alert anyone who needs our help of our arrival.
The rumbling of traveling tanks reverberates through the quiet night, the low roar of engines forceful yet steady. The soldiers cautiously advance, observing their surroundings, but still, all they see are pitch-black windows and doorways.
It doesn't look like they want to make first contact. That's fine, as long as it means we can get along. Wait, I hear something, from the building to the front left. That's the sound of artillery shell casings falling to the ground.
Very specific. Could have been a metal pipe.
An ambush. On your guard, everyone. I'll lead a team to scout ahead.
First squad, second squad, follow my lead. There are no signs of life in the abandoned factory. Contrary to expectation, there is no sound of an explosion following the fallen casings.
Are you sure that was a fallen casing, Horn?
Absolutely. There's a special model only allocated to elite Victorian troops. I guess. If you say so.
No traces of anyone living here.
Don't move, Siege. Siege carefully puts her foot back down to where it was. Horn points at a thin tripwire barely visible against the ground. Nicely concealed, what with the surrounding piping obscuring the view. Real tricky to spot. A booby trap. No, it's not linked to any explosives, just a simple alarm system. Based on how they've installed it, I'd say they're military.
Should we try to initiate contact?
Yes, everyone, get behind us and prepare to engage.
Hello, we don't mean any harm. Our unit's called the...
A secret passage. Get ready to enter. Stay behind my shield. Halt. We're not... Help! Oh snap. I knocked over some ammunition while on watch. How could they have heard that from so far away? They avoided your alarm too. These troops, I don't think they're any ordinary. She can block your pile driver spear. Captain, and Siege too. It really is you, Fiona. The lady with long red hair suddenly throws herself into the arms of her captain.
So you were alive all along?
Wonderful, how wonderful. Horn gently releases his bagpipe from her embrace, then claps a hand on her shoulder. Good to see you in one piece, in a rather good shape too.
I'll make my report now, Captain. I've done it. I've managed to exact the intelligence to the Spectre Force, and I can what their plat. Her dialect is. Kin is no, I guess. I can what they're planning now. I survived. I got my memories, I got the truth, and I stay alive. Your orders, I never got a word of them.
Good to hear. I knew you could do it. I always knew. Welcome back, Bagpipe. Bagpipe. Wait, you're not. Chen might be here, yeah?
Everyone, we mean you no harm. It's alright to come out.
Oh, look at those guys. Those are new. One by one, silhouettes emerge from the shadows. The elderly, children, the sick, and the wounded, civilians. Hundreds of pairs of eyes stare at Siege and her men in fear and curiosity taking their measure. You're not with the ducal armies? Most of you aren't dressed like Victorian soldiers, and in fact, you mostly look like workers to me. That's right. We're not under any of the dukes. We're called the Exemplars. Shiro is counting up the civilians who are hiding in the factory and giving them a checkup. All we can do at the moment is that it looks, all we can say at the moment, rather, is that it looks better than we expected. Aside from those infected soldiers under the Duke of Fife, who came along with you, and a small team of military engineers under the Duke of Normandy, everyone else is just local civilians who couldn't escape. The Ducal Alliance armies came through here a few days ago, but they rather gave up a chase at being rescued than seek help from the Grand Dukes. It's understandable why these soldiers avoided them. They're either worried about the status of their infection, or worried about the court-martial. But as for the civilians, perhaps it was the year the people living all around Londinium got to reassess their country and those decorated higher-ups. Bagpipe, how did you manage to get their trust?
Are you listening, Bagpipe? Huh? Oh, aye, Captain. You need to pay attention during tactical meetings. The map's on the walls, not my face. Sorry, Captain. Horn let out a small sigh. I really shouldn't be asking. You are Fiona, after all. I'm just a wee bit glad. The exemplars, simplest platoon's predecessors. I guess the rumors were true. I'm actually amazed that you still remember what you learned in military history class. Well, of course, when I was at the training camp at Triangle, I made sure I committed that fact to memory. Out of the training field, and the sycamores were all full of leaves blocking the sun just right, and then there were the rocks at the top of the cliff, hard as, well, rocks. Handle string, and if you handle sting if you touch. Backpipe. I feel like it's gotten worse. I feel like episode 9 Backpipe didn't have this thick of an accent. Handle sting if you tried to climb up them. I remember when Cello and Obo had a wager on who could compete the rock climbing training courses the fastest. The loser had to do 101 handed push-ups. Obo was a right fool. Who wouldn't have taken that bet with wee Cello? Maybe you should have reminded him back then. You were even sitting on his back the whole time he was doing those push-ups. Well, I was just helping him out with his training. And I'd say it turned out all right in the end, eh? He was just a hair behind Cello next time. The exemplars. When the Tempest platoon was first established, nothing was left of this legendary unit from the War of the Four Nations, not even its unassigned unit ID. But now it has returned once more to the battlefield. We all remember the exemplars now, or we are all members of the exemplars now, Backpipe. As long as our team is still here, we will never stop fighting the good fight. I don't know where Chen is, though. I know they've been showing them those two, like, here and there in the other episodes, but I don't remember. Did they split up the last time we saw them? I don't remember. Isn't there a strategy meeting inside? Why are you standing out here in the cold? I just wanted to clear my head for a few minutes. Did you think I was someone else? Bad or... No, not really. I believe you. If someone suddenly popped out of the fog tonight, I wouldn't have any expectations either. Not everyone is as lucky as Horn, reuniting with the person they most want to see. Lucky, huh? That's a luxury around here. That's enough blues for tonight. We should head inside. Wait. Victorian soldiers? Are they remnants who stayed behind? No, they can't be. I never noticed them until they got this close. They're the elite of the elites. Caster's men.
It's positively frigid out here. My hands are frozen stiff. The days are truly getting colder as they go by. Well, if I had taken a little jaunt and my full plaid's already half soaked through. Go to win. It's go to win. Who I also did not actually look up his voice. Forgot about him. Well, my young friends, won't you invite me inside to warm my hands for a spell?
Since you've come all the way in person, I suppose we should show you some courtesy. Delphine? Yes, Vina? Let's show the Dukes the way.
A satisfying battle.
Yeah, I don't remember if I gave him an
Brought
accent
palpitations
or
even to my heart.
what I did for that guy. So, bulwarks. Oh, they don't have any mechanics at all. Okay. They just have really high defense and resistance. My goodness. That's crazy. He's the one who didn't care about the war. He didn't at the end though of I believe it must have been last episode. He did meet with Castor and Wellington and was like, okay, I'll help you guys out. I like that their shield's so big you can't actually see the person behind it. Breaking the silence. Hold on. Hope guides us forward. Well. We're gonna bring Milsies because we love Milsies.
Sunlight's a little spicy. Just let me take 5.
And, I don't know. Oh, you know what? I just remembered. Totally off topic, but I saw a video the other day of, for beating level 4 of the Babel S levels with all the assassins. Someone just used Irene. And it was just like, oh. They made it look so easy. They just put Irene in the middle and then just got them. But you need Warfarn. Yeah, they did have a Warfarn, that's true, yes. I mean, technically I've got a Warfarn. But they made it look so easy. But we figured it out. Anyway, let's try Vivian. I don't know. Someone we don't use very often.
Shall wield candle and blade to win victories in your name.
Excuse me, sir. Are you... who are you, sir?
Oof, much better. Once you reach a certain age, you come to prefer bright and warm places. And is that beans I smell?
I was cooking some canned beans for dinner. Do you want some, sir?
I don't mind if I do. Would be better if we had some seasoning from home, perhaps some marinated meat.
Oh, I was thinking the same. We Godwins.
What is it?
I can know who you are now. And we're a wee bit different from what's in the news.
I just gotta say, I really like Godwin's fluffy ears. So I just gotta say that. Oh well, you can ask your captain. I heard her when she was wee. Or held her even when she was wee. Little Rita touched my horn and asked why her dad didn't have one.
I apologize for my insolence at the time, Your Grace.
Not many have the nerve to touch my horns, Lieutenant Scarmandros. You showed courage from a very young age. Or should I say, all of you are brave warriors of Victoria. Your defense of Shetley was outstanding, as was your performance at Brentwood. The exemplars you call yourselves? I've long wanted to meet you, though it seems your leader does not welcome high presence.
Pardon my frankness, Your Grace, but it is hard to treat your sudden appearance as a pure gesture of good faith.
Of course, Lady Windermere, I understand. Especially in times like this. I sent men to the Enclade Gavalet. They were traveling quickly, but unfortunately I made it in time to present funeral flowers for Amphilis.
I appreciate your gesture. I assume the Duke of Godwin hasn't come all the way here just to give us a medal?
What if I say I have?
Most of us are neither nobles nor intelligentsia. It would be best if you didn't beat around the bush.
Your loyal Highness Alexandrina is as direct as they say. Or would you prefer I call you Siege like your friends do? I fully understand why the Exemplars avoid the ducal armies along the way. You didn't want them to get involved in the machinations of the dukes. You want to fight only for Victoria and her people, like the legendary unit you are named after. And so I'm not here as the Duke of Godwin. I'm here as Sean Godwin, Member of Parliament, to extend an invitation to the Parliament-authorized Templars platoon and the rest of the Exemplars. Leave that outdated identification code behind. I'm asking that you intervene in this war in the name of the Parliament.
Dude, the Parliament's the one who caused all of this nonsense. Get out of here, you guys suck.
The Midas camp has been burned to the ground. No sign of Sarkhan's soldiers.
Misery feels a slight chill. The campsite's charred debris has cooled. He moves some debris, or some collapsed wooden beams aside, and finds a few unrecognizable bodies.
Miners, remnants of the infected. It's all the same everywhere.
What's that sound?
Uh-oh, now there's two of them. This is getting out of hand.
Nice hiding spot, Sudarum.
Nocta here spotted to the northwest of Gibsomham.
Out of common range already?
Earth has come. Several ruined swords pierce out of the ground beneath Misery's feet, but he's no longer there. Misery rips through the fabric of space with his dagger and retreats out of range. The collapsed ruins turn into a cage, trapping the Naxahir's withered bodies. Shush now. I have you too. Damn. He really pulled a, you're not trapped in here with, or I'm not trapped in here with you, you're trapped in here with me.
Duke Godwin, I understand that the Victorian Parliament has not held a session in a long time. Everyone who escaped Londinium knows that the Sarkaz have been the ones giving the orders from the Palace of Westaleg during that time.
Of course, I don't deny the present circumstances. Why don't we just cast our gaze further, to the future beyond the war?
The future. Isn't it a little too early to be bargaining over that, if bargaining and coercion were synonyms?
You misunderstand me. Godwin is not caster. I would much prefer to sit by the fireside than gather at the negotiation table. I'm more about drinking and playing cards with my friends. It gets cold rather quickly once summer is gone. Mind if I have my men add some wood to the fire?
You might as well have them come in.
Oh, thank you. That's much better. Where were we? Oh yes, the future. We know that the war will end and Victoria will triumph. War will inevitably bring, or should I say, already has brought about irreversible changes, ending a 20-year stalemate.
If anyone in the room is interested in the empty throne, it certainly isn't me.
Excellent, excellent. See, we already have a consensus. As a matter of fact, I held a little meeting not too long ago and saw the Iron Duke in person. Seeing him always reminds me of when I first saw Gastrel. Like so many other children who grew up hearing the tales of the Empire's death knell, I searched for the shadow of the ruins that belonged to Ligonnais, only to find not Gaul, but the glory of the strongest nation of all time, so splendid that I could not bear to turn away.
You want us to believe you care more about Victoria than Godwin?
Make no mistake, I would never call myself a patriot. A duke must always put his dukedom before all else. This is not just a matter of interest, but also a duty, a responsibility. But I wonder, what is the difference between Godwin and Wellington? Wellington would still be Wellington, with or without Victoria. But what would become of Godwin if the light of Victoria went out? Perhaps it would survive, but things would certainly not get better.
You don't want the Grand Dukes to really divide Victoria.
I'm not the only one. You know that. As strong as Victoria is, she is not without her rivals. Ursus, Lytania, Columbia, Sargon, all the ambitious nations of Terra have their eyes on us. We need a single unified voice to bring stability. This is why Parliament exists. All the ducal realms will select an appropriate representative, including Windermere. This is what the exemplars mean to Victoria. No soldier who fights for the cause of Victoria will need to fear betrayal again. The Speaker of Parliament has always been the king for the entirety of the royal's existence, but that does not mean that he or she must sit on the throne. And this is what you can mean to all of us, your Royal Highness Alexandrina, if you are willing.
So make her the Speaker of Parliament, which is technically the king, but she won't actually be the king. She'll just be the Speaker of Parliament. So like the Prime Minister
Should this be the Prime Minister, effectively? No one speaks as the Duke's words sink in. Only the crackling of the fire Godwin lit can be heard. I have only one question for your grace. If all this could have waited until after the war, then if I refuse now, can my friends and I leave with a sigh of kings? Huh. Siege. Crossbow moon outside. We're surrounded. Maybe we already were the moment he showed up. Well, well. First we learn what a commitment is to Castor. Now we learn what friendship is to Godwin. Friends treat each other as equals, do they not? My offer remains fair. At the minimum, I gave this young friend from Godwin the opportunity to point her piledriver spear at me. Lost a signal from Zone 6 again. Blasted place. Alright, Balin, Yvrez, Victor. We have to do this manually. Status reports, everyone. All good here. The beacon's in there and the sensors are running. We're still getting strong interference from the wind and sand. I'm trying to filter out the noise. Waiting on you now, Victor. Yeah, 5 minutes. Ground softer than expected. Careful, quicksand. The soil is very different from the samples we collected, and I've sent the data back. You got that, Captain? Is it? It's... How is that name pronounced? I'm drawing... Is it as or A, or is it... What is it? Not that this character might ever show up again, but you never know. So without an R, it's Eve. So what if there's an R there? How does that work? I don't know. Irv? I don't know. I knew it was a good idea to count on you to get you on board, Yvrez. Worth a few days of angry stares from Earth Spirit. Shout out to Earth Spirit. I think you can do better with a better working environment, Closure. Try not to get too much sand in your mouth. Stop talking like a Mia, Balin. My blood is self-cleansing. Hey, don't just laugh at me. Keep working. The sooner we get this signal tower set, the sooner we can broadcast the safe zone locations, and the sooner you can go to town. I'm trying. Rhodes Island equipment isn't exactly like anything I've ever seen. I'm already doing an exemplary job. Get it? Seriously? You and Rock shouldn't be here with me in the first place. You have my drones. Of course I'm staying here with them. Well, that is a solid reason. I know you're concerned about my safety, but I'm actually really strong. What's that? Those vampire worms would disagree? Well, not all vampires are built the same, you know. It's you two I'm worried about. Put your helmets on. Orpathy infection is no joke. Alright, but you lot are the ones who need to be careful. running around the battlefield like this. Is Closure infected? Have you ever got that confirmed or not? You lot. Rhodes Island. You lot are all over the battlefield, not caring for your own safety at all. Balin isn't infected from Victoria, Yvrez is infected but not Victorian, Victor isn't infected or Victorian, how amazing. Why? Everyone knows Rhodes Island operators come from everywhere. I can't help but think of my granny, Clavicia plus Tommy and the gang. I once hoped that the Self-Salvation Corps could be as united as the Rhodes Island operators I'd seen. Where is Clavicia? Well, people aren't really born good or bad. As circumstances change, so do people. Maybe one day. One day the Self-Salvation Corps will become a tightly knit, united group. Just like the Exemplars, now all fighting for the same thing. We're ready to be brave. We're ready to brave the worst. Ready to deal with defeat and even betrayal. But it's not necessarily race, upbringing, or circumstances that will unite us, just like Rhodes Island. Alright. Enough with the compliments. I know you want to keep your equipment, so should I get you a contract now? I'm not jealous of Rhodes Island, Miss Closure. You lot gave me the same kind of feelings of this strange communication equipment. You're holding a possibility, something that proves I'm not just a naive dreamer. Wait. Maybe your monologue is starting to bother Closure, Feist. What's that sound? Let me check the feed from Rock 18. In the monitor's pixelated image, a sandstorm approaches quickly. Catastrophe? But I don't see the data. Beneath the wild sands are tattered banners and a chanting of war. Noxa hears. What are they doing here? Go. You two leave now. Everyone from the Self-Salvation Corps. Head for Gibsonham. Now. Yeah, they've all become friends. What's that sound? Sarkaz! They're already here! Battle stations, open fire! Explosions. Sir, the Sarkaz are attacking town. We have to leave now. They found us quicker than expected. Looks like our Sarkaz remember the success they had with Amphiles. What of the attackers? Noxa here, elite, sir. Your Royal Highness, you and your people must leave with us now. This town is not worth defending, but you and your friends are of paramount importance to the future of Victoria. Our battleships can take us back to the Silver Rock Bluffs, front in 3 hours. That is where you belong. Me or the swords? Sir, we don't have the time. You don't have the time and you don't plan to fight, even though you know how many civilians there are. But of course, you wouldn't. They're not important to you, or the Parliament. These poor families wouldn't produce a single member of Parliament in 100 years. There's no place for them in your game of cards. I simply have my sights on reality, Your Highness. Reality. Reality is that the future Victoria you dream of is to be found in grand halls filled with noble coat of arms. My Victoria is here with these people. Sir, very well, Your Royal Highness. You're like your father at times, naive, reckless. That's why we killed him. Is that so? Not that I care. I don't remember anything about him. Huh, very well. Good luck. Horn. Order all combat-ready personnel on the plate to their stations now. On it. Delphine. Have Lieutenant Shear get the logistics and medical staff ready. Already done.
Follow the plan. Protect the civilians. Prepare for battle.
Let's see. Which insect is falling into my trap?
Altar Keeper. Unblockable and has reduced movement speed when taking damage. Picks up beacons when not carrying one and drops them on death. Interesting.
I saw nothing. Need speed to succeed.
Let's just not have him move it. How about that?
Can your eyes keep up? Any instructions? Come on, let's pick up the pace.
Judge by appearance and suffer the consequences.
This is no arena. No stars will be remembered.
Feels sad to lose your target, doesn't it?
Hesitancy is for do not disregard me.
I wait.
I just noticed their shield opened in half. That's cool.
I wait. Let time rest upon this unlit night.
Bad luck. You ran into me. Bad luck. You ran into me. Need speed to succeed. Hesitancy is for do not disregard me.
I wait. Relax. By tying your legs together won't make you fly.
Two of them.
This will keep you quiet. Moving to designated location.
Instructions. Come on, let's pick up the pace.
Let time rest upon that.
You picked the wrong foe.
Mission accomplished.
I think something's wrong with the diffractometer sensors.
Nothing's wrong with it.
You see, Victor, I'm getting the same results. It's not always the equipment's fault that you're not getting a valid data. The data itself may exceed the scope. Or engineering reaction metrics are above the default limit. Oh, they're coming, guys. We've got 3 minutes. Victor's the youngest of us. If nothing else, we should try and get him out. Who do you think was the reason I signed up for the Londinium operation? Never could just do as you're told, could you? How are you doing over there, Closure?
Still alive. I've got my drones, and they're loaded with,
Well, I think I hear the sound of drones crashing. There used to be your babies. You knew it when you ordered the Self-Salvation Corps to pull out, didn't you? That was the last chance to escape.
The Orangenium activity data is incomplete. I need data from all of you.
Ami is not here, so you're my captain, Closure. We all talked to Ami before he came to Londinium. Stop a war and save both the Victorians and the Sarkaz. With just a few of us, that's next to impossible. But I chose to trust all of you, trust in the dream of Rhodes Island. There isn't a single Rhodes Island operator who doesn't want to see the day when there's a cure for oropathy, when everybody's everyone's living a better life. Doesn't that sound ridiculous to most folk? My only regret about dying here is that I won't get to see that day. Did you get my data, Yves?
Yep, just sent the newest batch of data over to Captain. Oh, and I'm not taking that selfless. Or I'm not that selfless, so don't forget to put my name in it when you publish your paper. Will do.
Communication failure detected. Signal lost imminent. Important emergency fluctuation data. Initializing automatic analysis module. Catastrophe scale confirmed. Developing prediction model on Orangenium-induced environmental changes for the next 24 hours. Bzz, bzz. Captain, shield damaged. They're about to... Hang in there, Yves. Moving towards your position. Bzz, bzz.
Make it happen, Closure. I will.
The engineer's eyes are glued to the screen in front of her. Faster, faster. If they fail to compile the Orangenium activity data, then all the squad's efforts would be for naught. The din of war approaches. Only a few drones remain. She can feel the enemy's cold, freezing breath. Model successfully compiled. Outputting safe zone locations.
Yes! All that's left is the signal to tower.
Vampire, traitor. This war will go on, and you will feed it.
Yikes. My drone.
The Pseudoram's blade slices the hovering drone, sending it crashing to the ground. That was her last combat drone.
Get out of the way.
Your hearts are weak and pathetic. Oh. How could such a frail vampire exist?
Ouch.
Searing pain erupts and Closure feels an entire side of her body go numb. The breath of decay invades her. Closure can barely hold on to the signal tower. With great effort, she plants the complex equipment into the ground to lean on. Insufficient signal strength. Stronger interference detected. Unable to broadcast safe zone location. Please follow the equipment manual.
I know, shut up. What kind of vampire are you, Closure? Close those wounds, hang in there just a little longer. Just get this thing up right.
And that's why Closure's never been made playable. Sleeping in the corridors again, you'll catch a cold. Rhodes Island's basic functions are online. I think she's ready for a grand voyage. Thank you, Chief Engineer. You've delivered your promise. If you want to leave this ship and go back to Kasdal, right? You told me before you're not interested in that place. But at least promise me you won't call yourself a talentless vampire anymore. You're the most talented person I've ever known, Closure. You're just different from other vampires. You're kind of a nerd. So here's my offer. As long as you still want to use the vast and unexplored parts of this land, we'll always be each other's companion.
I can't. I won't let everyone down. and myself.
Closure can feel the Sudarom's cold grip close in around her neck. War has finally claimed her. Closure!
Ooh, a survivor. Signal. There's a signal. A Rhodes Island signal.
Oh, snap. Reinforcements.
Grab my hand, Closure. Doberman?
It's me. Can you stand?
Fang?
Ew. A dagger pierces the Sudarom's chest, causing a massive burst of energy. Oh nice, Misery's here. Sorry I'm late.
Misery gave us the location. More are coming. Almost got it. Cover me. Keep them away.
This is like a photo you'd see to commemorate an actual war. Like she's pulling up a flag. What is our mission? When Closure first joined Rhodes Island, then known as Babel, she asked many operators this question. Who knew? Yeah, everyone thought she'd be a summoner, but actually... she got a different answer every time. Some dreams are big, others less so. Thought she'd be a drone caster? That's fair. Although apparently her arts are weak, so... maybe summoner would be slightly better. Some gave details, others mumbles, scratched their heads, and gave an abashed smile. But there comes a time when they all have the same expression, and a time when they all make the same choice.
Almost there. This is the last one.
Core module online. Communications restored.
We're coming, Closure. Hang in there.
We sent your location to the exemplars. Help is on the way.
Finally. Closure. Closure, are you okay?
Wow, they all came apparently. What happened to protecting the town?
Keep your distance. Cover the artilleries and crossbowmen. The appearance of the Noxahirs is closely linked to catastrophes. Do not fear their witchcraft. However bizarre it is, it's still arts. Remember how we marched through the catastrophe. We survived a catastrophe. We'll survive the sarcasm. Bagpipe. Aye, I'm here. The Duke of Godwin spoke the truth. The Tempest platoon is under the direct authority of Parliament. We have an obligation to answer Parliament's call. It's a more legitimate cause for action than the Duke's invitation. Not to mention that by accepting this invitation, you, Robin, and everyone who came with us because they had no choice, will have proper identities. Identity? Did you forget, Captain? I'm retired anyways. Besides, if not standoff with the Dukes earlier, you didn't hesitate to put your shield in front of the siege. True. Word is siege is carrying the Sigh of Kings. Have you seen it before, Captain? I have. Siege is right. It's just a piece of metal that happens to mean something to some people.
Well, I mean, hopefully it has some sort of magic powers.
troops approaching on our flank. No ID code, but I recognize them. They're the Duke of Godwin's men. They've engaged the Sarkaz and covered one of our squads just now. Good. If that's Godwin's way of showing friendship, then we'll show him the same in return. Attention exemplars. Stand with the soldiers of Godwin. Not one step backward. Not until the last foe is vanquished.
The ship has reached cruising speed, sir. We're out of the danger for now. Good. The Sarkaz's witchcraft is most peculiar indeed. Better to fake a moment of vulnerability than have them constantly harassing our rear. The leader of the Naxahirs has not been sighted, nor any other known powerful Sarkaz. I suppose they don't see Godwin as nearly as a threat as that of Windermere or Wellington are. I would call that a relief. The Side Kings has not left Gibbonson, sir. Should we move on to the next phase? What do you think of them? More of a challenge than expected. Alexandrina's forces are growing, and they're more organized and effective than we thought. Oh, I don't mean as an adversary. The exemplars, like you said, they look the part, and they've worked well enough for the troops that we left behind. Rita's with them and looks more like the legendary White Wolf than her father did. And Windermere isn't as weak as the intel had her. Maybe it's not just a joke after all, that those kids could become the exemplars. Do you intend to abandon the plan for us to escort the Realmblade then? Abandon? No, such a strong word. It is the future that Godwin values. Alexandrina, the Sigh of Kings, the exemplars, even Rhodes Island. Perhaps we'll cross paths again on our way to the future.
Our tanks are fighting the last pocket of Sarkaz on the east side of town. We've successfully defended Gibson Him, rather. It serves as a supply point on the way to Silver Rock Bluffs, however. The terrain has changed. The environment around Londinium is constantly changing because of Omninom's influence. Fissures, cliffs, the rapids that should have not have been there are emerging elsewhere. Silver Rock Bluffs is almost constantly under severe catastrophe. It's hard to say when our foot will land when we put it forward.
I wouldn't have believed this was Islandinium if I hadn't anything less than absolute faith in Rhodes Island data. The sun on the mere meadow is oh, she's singing, okay. The sun on the meadow is summery warm, fill our home with euphoria. After this war, we might have a chance to change our anthem's lyrics. It's true, yeah. Is this the time to be having a laugh? You wanted to say, well, think about it after we take it back, didn't you? But even if we really went back, would our home ever return to the way it was?
That's why we're not just going to win the war. We're not going to let the Sarkaz destroy Londinium in the war. We'll overcome the storm ahead. And we won't abandon the home that the storm has ravaged. Feist told me that his squad picked up some distress signals nearby. There may be some more lives to be saved. The areas where fighting occurred with the Naxahirs will need to be cleaned up. Rhodes Island operators will provide the usual assistance. I want the exemplars to work with them on these post-combat affairs. Establish the supply lines, rescue and transfer the injured, and rally those who want to join us. troops who returned from the front line have assembled. Counting in the Godwin soldiers who had their IDs wiped, the Exemplars have far exceeded the scale of a regiment.
Oh, interesting. He wiped their IDs as well. Interesting.
They want to join us. I met with their officers. They said the Duke of Godwin left before they could board the transports. Preliminary screening indicates that all of them are infected.
Oh, okay. Never mind. He's not helping us as much as it first seemed, perhaps. He's just getting rid of loose ends.
Sounds familiar, eh?
They better be careful, though. They keep getting rid of all their infected soldiers. The Exemplars are going to swell, and then they're going to have a very large and discontent army to deal with, in addition to the Arknights.
The Duke of Godwin left behind his infected soldiers, just like the other dukes. Or maybe he intentionally picked a bunch of soldiers who had unfortunately gotten infected and sent them over to us. I suspect he has ulterior motives. The performance of those infected troops indicates that they're different from those we've seen before. I wouldn't call them stragglers. If Godwin's intention is to keep an eye on us, then we should probably try to lose these people, or at least separate them tactically. No. You know the Dukes better than I, Delphine. There's a good chance that you're right. But right now, there's nothing we need more than unity. Even if the Exemplars chose which parts of Victoria they united, what would happen to the future that we dream of? Godwin very likely knew that we couldn't reject those men. That's why he let us leave so easily. Then we need to be ready. This is not the first challenge we've had to overcome, nor will it be the last. Sarkaz, Omnanam, Castor, the Dukes. It's not just one storm that the Exemplars will have to weather. I'll let Lieutenant Shearer know. To be honest, everyone's happy to get some new blood. Plus, they're all infected. If it's really true that Godwin has not abandoned them, that in and of itself is worth celebrating. Perhaps the unity that once seemed impossible is actually within reach.
We'll have to see. I mean, we know from... like a light spark and darkness and stuff that Godwin's not particularly any better with infected than anywhere else, or any worse per se, so this would be a new leaf. Perhaps.
It's a miracle we ran into people like you.
We're not a miracle, ma'am. You are, all of you, for being strong until the very end.
Thank you so much, regardless. I can still move. Let me help you with the others. This way you can get some rest. You're not much older than my own child, now that I get a better look at you.
We have about 10 minutes of rest before we head to the next location. Closure.
A little more time.
There's not much room for improvement on that arts unit you're holding. Even Radiant and the Mechanist could hardly do better.
Conditions will only get worse from here. The better I do, the safer you guys will be.
Thanks.
Rescue work from Gibson Him is complete. Next, we'll be going to where your squad signal was lost. I see. We'll find them, alive or otherwise. Even if they're buried in the sand or Oranginium, there will be traces. We'll find them and bring them home. I know how I feel, but Fang, I want to hear your thoughts, too. Is it regrettable for a Rhodes Island operator to die in a war between the Sarkaz and the Victorians, when they have nothing to do with either side of the war? Any sacrifice is regrettable. After Ace died, Beagle cried for many nights with his shield in her arms. Why him? Why there? Why then? I get that feeling too, every single time. But what I really want to know is, how did the people who sacrificed feel? I'm sure they have their own regrets. We're none of us saints. That's why we fear death. That's why you feel pain over your decision. But I have no regrets about participating in this operation. If not for Lava, Hibiscus, or the other Sarkaz friends, then at least for the people here, even though I don't know any of them. It was a catastrophe that brought me from Columbia to Rhodes Island. That catastrophe taught me one thing, that suffering does not discriminate. I came here today because I know that you will come when my home needs help, when the people I care about need help. You're right. We'll be there. Rhodes Island. You know something? I've been addicted to the web since a very young age, because that's the only place I knew without segregation. The other vampire children and I, vampires and other Sarkaz and everyone else, catastrophes, nations, class, disease. It was Teresa who took me from the confines of my home and showed me another possibility. A ship that sails the waves of disaster, rescues those who are suffering, and fosters companionship beyond personal interest. Sounds surreal, huh? But the road that Rhodes Island has traveled thus far is very real. I'll continue to analyze the anomalies caused by Anomnom. I also want to hear your answer to my question, Calcit and doctors too. This data belongs to Yves, to Balin, to Victor, to Rhodes Island. One day, it may belong to everyone.
この死骸たち、一瞬で溶かしてしまうこともできますのよ。見てみたいかしら。
That's cool that they brought in Fang for this. I wonder who else is gonna... Surely they didn't just send Fang as reinforcements. Surely there must be some other people. Maybe not anyone worth naming. I don't know. Speaking of infected, man, what's going on with Reed? I wonder what she's doing. Welcome back. Engineer casters of the Nexahir Legion. They set their altars on the battlefield like nails upon a carpet woven from war. Wherever they go, the storm of suffering will soon follow. What's the chances that that's Fang's only scene? Yeah, I guess. I mean, yeah. I doubt she's gonna she's gonna immediately take up a crucial mantle. But she'll probably continue to show up in the exemplar scenes. Whatever they end up doing. Cave search. A strange place, a strange figure. Ooh. Who's it gonna be? try out his skill 2. Although I haven't really seen, I don't know if I've seen Perish really work yet. But we'll try out skill 2. I was also thinking any attack
Questions are
boosting
destined to be answered. Rules
on
bound to be
Logos, like
analyzed.
Scotty or something, would increase the threshold for killing people with skill 1. That's pretty useful. Abandoned mansion, Londinium outskirts. Is she back yet? Not yet. Damn. It was hard enough dodging those devils. How did she survive and even find us? How the heck did she know that I did business with the devils? Well, considering that business deal lost. What about you? How'd she get you? Yeah, she got a crossbow to my head. I knew her from before. She didn't used to be so... Didn't used to be so what? Who the heck is this? A new character? They look like a snow leopard though. Go on. No, I didn't, The soldier who has served the dukes all his life lies on the ground, a crossbow pointed at his forehead. The voice of the one holding the crossbow is cold as ice. I'm waiting. I just, sorry, Milscar. I shouldn't have, The bolt pierces his ear. Allerdale? Is it? Huh? What? Is that Allerdale? Is it? I mean, it kind of looks like her, right? Why would she, how would she be wearing these clothes though? Where would she have gotten this outfit from? That is a custom made outfit. Like, oh, let's see what happens. Some people punch holes in their pets' ears as a sign of ownership. A man is not a pet, of course, but sometimes they're not so different, are they? Now get back up and give me a status report. Have you done what I've asked you for? Yes, ma'am. Well, the reception at the monitor station was really bad, and so even though we tried to gather as much information as possible... Skip to the conclusion. Based on what little information the Trilby Asher left behind in the occasional intercepted comms, we can confirm that the unit called the Exemplars has been formed and its leader is most likely one that you spoke of. Vina. They seem to be headed for the front at Silver Rock Bluffs. Okay, I mean, this is sounding more like Allerdale.
Silver Rock Bluffs. They're really staying in this war. Keep at it. Notify me of any new developments.
Yes, ma'am. Where did she get this outfit, though? And, like, get a pet crow? Or is that a stuffed crow?
You.
Now she's gonna have two voices. She's gonna have her stage voice when she's in front of those guys, and then when she's not, I guess she's gonna sound normal.
Well, this is easier than expected. I thought it'd be tougher. No scruples, no acts to put up. If I found Victoria...
A red light flashes a few times in the deep shadows.
Isn't it your job to protect her?
Still hanging out with the Steam Knight. Where did she get that outfit? That's crazy. Must have raided a costume shop or something. You didn't notice the first time. I'm surprised. I did not expect that, but there you go. 43 hours into the operation.
I knew you would come.
Ursula.
That mad bomber W came to set up this prison. Ines came twice to show compassion. Same old Ines, always a tad slow with her retort when she's focused on someone else's shadow. Now it's you. What have you come to say? Have you thought it over? That's my line. Your situation is perilous. Your only vehicle lies disabled. As the pilot, I'm very likely to know something that you don't, and probably am waiting for the right time to strike. Really, you should kill me, Hodoer.
I would rather you helped us with what you know.
In your dreams. I already turned you down once. You give me too little credit if you think I'd change my mind just because I'm a prisoner.
3 times.
What?
You saved our lives 3 times back in Kasdal. My life once, Ines's life twice.
You wrote all that in your diary?
Name your price. I'll do my best to pay it.
You'll go bankrupt if you quit the mercenary life to open a business.
I just want as many Sargas to make it back to Kasdal alive as possible.
Such grand ambitions. But enough chit-chat. Let the old rules of Scar Market lie buried beneath Kasdal. Our debt is settled. One last warning, Hodoer. Kill me now or you'll regret it.
Did it ever occur to you that we both want the same thing?
Enough of your righteous crap. Don't try to buy my life with your flowery words, old friend. They're not much better than money. A mercenary takes no sides, but you and I aren't exactly mercenaries anymore. Wanna bet, Ines? Hodor is gonna try talking Ursula into helping for old time's sake at Scar Market. Ursula is gonna tell him to just get over it, and Hodor is gonna come back with a long face. What's the wager? That's it. I figured you'd be jealous of the two of them all alone in a room together. W. Stop trying to read my shadow, Ines. I'm not in the mood. The Bunny and the Victorian have gone long for a while. Or have been gone long for a while. Wonder how things are going out there. Bonesy's still playing dead, and Teresa's catastrophe refuses to go away. Who knows? Maybe Manfred's gonna just pop out of nowhere. I could have blown Teresa's up right then and there. I know you're restless because of Teresa, but hold that fuse for a moment. We have a lot of prep work to do. Sarkaz swearing. Who said I was... W squad member. Yeah, so they got that smiley face too. Yeah. W, we've got a problem. Out with it. It's time for a shift change, but not all of our scouts came back. Crane's team went off to the north side of the canyon and we can't reach them. Don't tell me they ran into a decent enemy caster. When was your last communication? Almost 3 hours ago. You waited a long time. Alright. If our enemy could make an entire merc squad disappear without a sound, they would have been able on top of us by now. The most important thing to do at the moment is to keep the lifebones safe. We're just gonna sit here when we know there's some things going on outside. I agree with Ines. We know nothing about this place. The safest course of action is to concentrate our forces. Cut the crap. My men are missing. I want to know why. If they get lost, I'll bring them back. If somebody did them in, I'll return the favor. Calm down. This could be a trap to split us up. I don't like playing defense. Even if it is a trap, I'll just blast them out of hiding. Give me half a day. If they don't come back, that means I'm up against a real nasty piece of work. Don't come after me. Get your defenses ready. If you get a call from Amia, don't wait for me. Just activate the lifebone. I'll take my own squad. No need to bother anyone else. You lot, grab your weapons and follow me.
W's really becoming a team player.
Is this where they went?
Should be. This cave was all we saw when we went north into the canyon. We don't know what's inside. A hidden passage? The court's secret cache?
If this was a secret base of the royal court, we'd have had a couple hundred vampires and Nexahirs on our asses the moment we fell in here. And based on Closure's intel, we're in the hills to the west of Londinium, a good distance from the main battlefield where those old farts are. Somehow, though, I smell the old moldy stench from someone who's been here for ages. I don't like old stuff, but I'm sure Hodor would love it. Let me guess. What enemy did our lucky winners run into?
W, when did you use your bombs?
You delusional? Did you see me use them on our way here?
Then what are these burn marks on the walls?
Huh? Strange. No sign of hearts. But how do they leave marks like these on stone, then?
Did you hear that?
What is it this time?
It's the sound of someone striking iron. There's somebody here.
You're just hearing things. Stop spooking yourself. Nobody's here.
Do we keep going, W? I have a bad feeling about this.
Of course. Why do you think we're here? That's top grade gear you're all using. I'm not rich enough to just let them rot in some cave.
Have you heard the Sarkaz legend? Before Quilon was even born, the Sarkaz and a red dragon.
Shut up. One historian in Hodor is enough. Say any more and I'll throw you to the front.
A red dragon? What is it? Blood, but not sarcasm. It's fresh. Get ready to fight. What the heck is that? A dragon? Roar.
Vary the habit of fighting, each to your own.
Hold on a second. Alright.
Okay, serious face. Can your eyes keep up?
Damn. Is that... I guess... Clone's technically in range of the... Or is the... Oh, the pollution only goes away when the tornado sucks it up. That's right. Sudaram. Attacks deal physical damage to all surrounding units when inside Oranginian pollution or active storm. Attacks deal physical damage to all surrounding allied units and all your units inside the pollution or storm. Cool.
Take like water.
Great.
Your lives are mine to protect.
They're ranged. Also, they hover. They don't have legs. That's interesting.
Thus, I speak.
This will keep you quiet. Moving to designated location.
Want a candy? Take like water.
Morning star, the illumination of wisdom.
The moment you break the law, you're
He does like a
back
little
against the
string.
wall.
Sudaram. Pathetic. Get pixel bombed.
This will keep you quiet.
Where do you wish to suspend this burn? You needn't fall. Can your eyes keep up?
Waiting for Solved, the fairy of the other side.
Yeah, Schmeierdorf is so good.
Any instructions for me?
So stylish. She's so stylish.
Mission accomplished.
Oh snap, look at that thing. It's got like insect wings, that's interesting. And also a bunch of horns on its head. Terrifying monster. Yeah, like what is this thing? Strange howl. Our weapons won't work. This thing just won't die. Aim for its head. We'll see how many hits it can take. It's too fast. We can't hit it. Draw its attention. I'll try to hit it from behind. The mercenary attempts to go around the monster, but one swing of its tail sends him slamming into a rock wall. None of the attacks seem to have caused any real damage. It flaps its wings and scorching winds engulf the cave, making the air even thinner. It has firepower. The ground quakes and spikes erupt from underneath the earth, hurtling towards everyone. Shut up. I said shut it, you short-legged moth. Song-like cry. You think it's like an Oranginium monster? Kind of like Mephistos? The monster immediately locks onto where the damage came from, surprisingly agile for its size. In the brief time it takes W to reload, the monster has already closed the distance, its fangs nearly grazing her face. I don't know how you got that ugly mug, but you'll need a bigger one to eat me. Chew on this instead, sucker. Is it dead? Hard to live with a big hole in your face, eh? Are you okay? I've always been good at blast control. She has. She's literally blown herself up. It's impressive. I got a theory, W. There might just be a lost Sarkaz court called Bomb Fiend or something, and you're its last princess. That's it. Very funny. But what the hell is this thing? Doesn't look like any animal I've ever seen. I heard that there's some of those Colombian crazies sewed parts of different animals together. Maybe this is their doing? That would be, very strange for it to be here. Unfortunately, I know a bunch of Sarkaz crazies who do the same thing. Under her breath, it reeks of witchcraft. Confessarius monsters. Why out here in the middle of nowhere? So it's just like a chimera that the Confessarius made? Them being here is no coincidence. There must be something else in this cave. Did this thing eat our guys? The only way to find out is to cut it open. We're sure it's dead, right? Well, if you cut it open, it should be. Oh, there's more of them. Damn, this thing had friends. They've blocked the entrance. What do we do? Run. "48 hours into the operation." They're still talking. What time is it? Would it mean anything to you? Call it a professional habit. I feel better when I know what time it is. 6 p.m. 2 days since we crashed into the canyon. 2 days? Enough to do a lot of things. Do you remember, Hodoer? The three of us were on a mission to steal a Sargonian Pasha's treasure. We got the treasure, but also 100 or so people on our tails.
We hid in a cave for 2 whole days. We were starving, but too afraid to light a fire or leave.
It was Ines who stitched your wounds up. You wouldn't have made it otherwise.
Huh. I said the sun's almost up. Just let me bathe in the sun for a little bit and I'll feel much better.
I must have stopped you. There are enemies outside. We couldn't risk exposing ourselves.
No, you didn't stop me. Ines teased me. She found it hilarious that a Scar Market merc would miss the sun.
Sure. The Scar Market is under Castle and has never sees the sun.
I became the pilot of this skeleton when I joined the military commission's staff as a major. When I took the young ones back and forth between Castle and Dinium, it was like we had outrun the sun. I can't go back. None of the Sarkaz can.
Ursula? What's going on?
They're here.
The skeleton's moving.
For a moment, the Fairnwhat skeleton seems to be moving, but Hodower soon realizes that it's not the nerve clusters or bones that are moving.
Nails.
The ship and pilot have always been one. Lifebone is never merely composed of the Fairnwhat skeleton. Rows of long nails are fixed to the massive frame, assembling it into a transport ship. One of them, infused with her arts, pierces through the critical section of the spine column. She and the skeleton have always been linked by witchcraft. The arts of the Royal Court's casters have connected to the skeleton. I can sense it. No need to be anxious, it's not going to wake up yet. But this little bit of connection is what remains of the Fairnwhat's power on the snail. Are enough for me to get out of here. This snail belongs to me, is linked to my bones. I'm taking it with me. What happens when a Fairnwhat's powers are applied directly to the human body? It's not so bad to cut loose once in a while, just like the old days.
The spine is cracking. No!
I told you, Hodower, that you'll regret not killing me. Or would you say that this is just another inevitable chapter of history?
Hodower thrusts his giant sword into the space of the missing nail, barely in time to hold the critical section in place. But even this fleeting moment is enough for his prisoner to escape her chains. Ursula leaps through a crack in the ribs, disappearing into the fire, along with bone and damaged nerve tissue. Ursula!
Ursula, the hero drifting among the shards of history, always trying to save others. Have I ever told you that the name suits you better?
Angry roar. Oh, how many are there? It's a dead end.
Let him have it then. I'm sure he likes Hodower. I wasn't planning on escaping from the front. I just needed space for my bombs. Get down.
Are they dead?
Let's hope the rocks I brought down were enough to crush their skulls.
What are we doing here? Are they protecting something?
How am I supposed to know? Do you seriously believe I can talk to monsters?
So I guess we really did find something incredible. It's too bad Crane's team got eaten by those things. Not all of us.
You're alive. What the hell happened?
We found a cave on patrol and decided to check it out for any potential secrets. That's when we ran into those monsters. Tire, Buckler, and Nut got eaten. The rest of us ran for our lives. For some reason the monsters wouldn't come to this way. But we couldn't get out either, so we were stuck here until you showed up.
Bloody hell. I'll skin those things and have Ines make clothes out of them. What did you find inside?
Not much. I left markers on the way if you want to see for yourself.
Go that way, pass a few masked bodies, then take a right fork.
Masked bodies?
A few skeletons that have been here for years. Must have run away from Londinium a few years ago. The strange thing is, they all cut their own horns off.
Uh-huh. Masked bodies, severed horns.
Their heads were all wrapped up, maybe some tribal tradition?
Shit. Either you're going crazy or I am. Interesting that they're in this cave. With monsters.
Old enemies? Don't worry, they're very dead.
Take me there now.
Oh, this is the place. What's the matter, W? I've never seen you like this before.
Shut up. Several bodies leaning against the wall. W bends down and examines them meticulously. Yep.
There's nothing left but bones. All death by severe injuries, no question about that. Looks like someone tended to their bodies after death. Maybe they're friends, but it's been years judging by the dust. There's a small altar in the corner. No sign of witchcraft, so I think it's purely for memorial purposes.
Are these all of them? Why would these assassins be here? Only these, no others?
What do you mean? Are they supposed to be others? W, hey W, what time? What is it this time? What's going on? Assassins? She said these were assassins?
But like, yeah, it's weird. Like, what? So like, we know some assassins were killed by some Janie and some mercenaries, presumably on their way to Rhodes Island. And then a bunch of other assassins obviously were killed in Rhodes Island. So why are there assassins here though? That's so weird.
W, wait up! We checked the surrounding areas. There's nothing else suspicious.
I recognize their outfits. These traitors. They should have all been dead by now. If they're here, that means... No. No, this can't be. That's ridiculous. Yeah, also they only died a few years ago, which is also weird.
W, I heard that Her Highness Teresa's body was stolen from Babel.
Was it? How'd that happen? Don't ask me. How am I supposed to know?
The next time Teresa, the next time Teresa appeared after the attack on Babel was in Londinium. We're close to Londinium.
Shut up! I know that.
What do we do now? Should we...
Go back and tell Ines to go be on maximum alert. She'll take care of the rest. As for me, I'm going to clean up loose ends. Teresa's body was stolen. I didn't realize that. Have they ever mentioned that? You assume the enemy had her body since they revived her? I thought she was a ghost. But like, man, how many assassins did they make? They sure had a lot of assassins.
This is meaningless, mercenary. I see no reason for us to fight. The war is over. Whether we live or die is inconsequential to this outcome.
You don't get to talk about meaning. Her blood is still on your hands. You and your accomplices, anyone still alive? I'll find all of you. You can run, you can hide, but I'll find you, and I'll tear you apart bone by bone. Yeah, I do actually, I remember her in Arknights' memoir, hunting down the assassins. I guess she missed some. I know my sins better than anyone. I would have ended my own life, even if I hadn't run into you today. Go on, do it, if it quells your worthless anger. But you're too late, mercenary. You couldn't save her. Shut the f- I've made many mistakes in my life, but on this one thing, there's no way I could have erred. I killed all the traitors. I remember exactly how each one died, even the expressions on their faces as they went. But why did these scums die here? Counts had said the Confessari resurrected her. Why did they need a living, breathing Teresa? Oh, okay. Is there more to it than Teresa's plans for the leadership of the Sarkaz? Teresa's Confessari. I couldn't care less about whatever schemes you're plotting, but you desecrated someone you never should have. Which is why I'll kill you all, if it's the last thing I do. So she was fully resurrected by the Confessari then. Not a ghost, and not a figment of residual Black Crown power from association with Teresa's. Just what the hell is this place? What's this door doing here? Out of my way! Oh snap. What the hell is this? A strange sight indeed. The narrow passage opens to a vast, shadowy cavern. Untouched by sunlight, the chilling cave is strewn with dusty weapons and armor. The space is dotted with bizarre crystals, massive patterns, reminiscent of eerie symbols, stretch ominously from the walls down to the ground. W is overcome by an unsettling sensation, as though it is not she who gazes upon the vast underground structure, but the other way around. Clank. A blunt sound echoes through the cave. Clank, clank. The W recognizes it as the sound of bones being crushed by a heavy object. The heck is this guy? We're getting new sarcasms all the time now. Who goes there?
Doctor, you're right. Words that shake one's soul always come from within the storm.
The Sudaram is the shroud of the dead. Once got from hunger, it is now nourished by the power of the Nexahir king. For the Nexahir, consumption and nourishment, greed and devotion are just two sides of the same dreaded coin. You know, they're not very strong for how the story made them seem. Hidden Front was unlocked. What is Hidden Front? What the? Rose Island has dispatched squads off the main battlefield to execute special missions. They will encounter a variety of challenges on the main or on the path to their final goal to reach Londinium. Command a squad directly, determine how they'll handle encounters, and complete your mission. Select one of the 3 squads to begin. Each squad starts with different initial stats. Each squad excels in its own specialization. Exploit their preferences, or proficiencies rather, in specific challenging events to clear them more easily. Squads will face different encounters on their missions. Each encounter requires different stats to clear. The higher your stats, the higher your success rate. At the same time, completing an encounter successfully will also increase your squad stats. Plan your squad's growth to help them tackle these encounters more smoothly. After facing a set number of encounters, your squad will face an emergency event. You must successfully handle this encounter with your squad to progress. If their stats aren't high enough to clear the emergency event, they will evacuate and lose contact with you. In summary, squads must face many encounters and emergencies to reach Londinium's city walls. You will decide how they enter the city, and this determines the ending you achieve. After losing contact with a squad, you may restart from a different team. The new team will inherit some of the last squad's data, and this will make clear your encounters easier. So try out all the different encounters and gain experience on your team. So by lost contact, you mean they die. Each squad has its own different thing. Because we got, so the different squads in Rhode Island have their own badges. That's cute. Logistics, intel, medical. So medical is better at, I guess, medic. Intel is good at intel, and logistics is good at logistics, so that makes sense. Also, logistics has like a higher stat spread in general, and medic has the worst stat spread. What's up with that? Maybe we'll do intel. News bulletin, latest news. Each team has their own unique strengths, so let them fully make use of them. The intel squad under your command is proficient in reconnaissance and in intel analysis. Their goal is to gather intel in Londinium. Choices made during emergency events will lead your squad to different endings. Ready up. Have greater than 20 on all stats. The battlefield is ever changing. Plan your route with prudence and direct your squad to the city. Combat encounter, wasteland. Explore terrain, gather intel. We encountered hostile forces in the Wastes and are currently at an impasse. They appear to be thugs surviving by robbing refugees. They refuse to negotiate and are threatening us to surrender our supplies. Please advise. We encountered a strange area where towering oranginium clusters obstruct our path. What was once a safe route is now dangerous. Some of the oranginium might even be active. Please advise. We encountered trouble. Oranginium dust has caused our precision equipment to malfunction. This is particularly concerning in an area prone to minor catastrophes. Please advise. Improvise. Collect data from your surroundings to plan a feasible route based on your findings and maximize your resources. We crossed the region smoothly, even gathered some extra resources. The Sarkads are congregating away from Londinium, and the squads boasts elites from both the vampires and the Naxair royal courts. The battlefield is ever changing. Your plan, your route with prudence. Following a message from Closer, we proceed to a nearby location for a support mission. We discovered a wrecked transport drone and its cargo, a smart combat platform with the ID Phono R0. The platform is currently offline. Please advise. Phono R0 is on an urgent mission. What? I feel like we should do that one. It doesn't give you anything, but like that seems like it's lore. We successfully repaired Phono R0. Our squad will travel with her until the next transport drone arrives. The catastrophe is currently on the move to the west of Westbound Forest. We ran into some refugees who claimed to be settlers from the surrounding wastes. Their settlements were destroyed by catastrophe, and they're hoping we can provide them supplies to survive on as they fled with nothing. Please advise. We discovered a recently abandoned village where we might be able to find some supplies. Should we go ahead and search the place? Message from Closure. Doctor, the team is currently in an area with no signal coverage, but our readings indicate an immediate catastrophe. Please advise. What's the best stat one we're gonna get? Well, we don't need that one. We want either... Yeah, we'll do give up on exploring your current priorities to advance towards Londinium. The Victorian army is withdrawing from the western front line and moving towards the Silver Rock Bluffs on the Dusk Glow River. Redmayne Mountains line. I like the news bolts and stuff. Also, so yeah, we have Westbound Forest over there. We have Gibson. Redmayne Mountains are to the right. Londinium in the center, and I guess the purple is like oranginium spreading or something. I don't know. We encountered a strange area where towering oranginium clusters obstruct our path. So what we need the most is intel now, so... Oh snap, support platform 2 of 3. We should do this one. Closure. Doctor, we have connected with the drone dispatch to support Phono R0 and are currently modifying it as Closure directed. However, there is a disagreement. Phono R0 wants to be modified and carry out the mission alone, while Closure believes we should continue modifying the drone and work together. Please advise. Interesting. Only a 75% chance is not a great percent chance, so we'll go with the 100%. You know, I'm right, Doctor. I can't believe she's insisting on acting alone in such a dangerous place. I usually don't disagree with the combat platforms, though. Is that the power of kinship? I haven't moved that far. Squads led by Operator Closures, Fang, and Misery have reached the battlefield and are preparing to establish a comms network. All teams, please provide support alongside your duties. We'll wait for the team to restore communications. Perfect. Great news, the squad safely got out of the catastrophe zone. Handle the emergency. Active objective Londinium. Prolonged sieges have transformed the city into a nightmare. The squad is about to enter the war zone and has already detected significantly elevated levels of airborne active oranginium. Brace yourselves, this journey will be treacherous. Your goal is to help those in need and minimize tragedies. Act with caution. It's hard to tell what lies in store for us. Intel call sign IST-72B has cleared emergency event number 1. We have encountered a war zone. Please stand by. Okay. Clear main theme 1411 to unlock. Ooh, okay. Oh, we get some rewards. Oh, we can get profiles based on that stuff. A lot of support chips. Oh wow, we need a lot more for the next one. Please secure 11. I guess I can just leave. And we'll be good. Yeah, okay, we're good. Interesting. Interesting that it's got some lore for Phono R. I think if we continue down, because it was like 2 out of 3, so if we continue down that, like those missions specifically, we might get some lore for Phono R.
Have you
Also,
been
where's
doing
the
well
event
lately,
page?
Doctor?
Here we are. Okay, that just takes us back. Okay, that's fine. Never mind. Hopefully they're not time limited. I don't know. That doesn't. I guess, yeah, 12 days remaining, I guess. Yeah. Interesting stuff. How many tickets? We don't have a lot of tickets. I bought all the tickets I could buy. We'll wait a little longer on that, perhaps. Speaking of Phono R, like, where do you get Phono R's? Is Phono R's, no. No. I was wondering where you got more potential for Phono R. I thought it might be for that little mini game thing, since it was talking about Phono R, but I didn't see it in the rewards list. So I wonder where you get it from. I guess it's just like a Banshee's robot. I don't know. Very interesting. What mission? What is it? What is its special mission though? Very interesting. That's where we shall end for now. We'll be back next week with more Arknights. Continuing this until we finish. So for now, thank you all for watching. And may the sands of time treat you well. One level, it's been more than that.